Hello students, this is your science teacher and we are studying chapter number 2, microorganism, friend and foe. So student, in previous videos we have discussed about the microorganism and today we are again starting with a small introduction of microorganism. Microorganisms are very small organisms which cannot be seen with the unaided eye. They can be seen only with a magnifying glass or microscope. As I told you previously that they are very small in size and we cannot see them by our naked eyes. So we need magnifying glass or microscope. Microorganisms may be unicellular or multicellular. Okay, they may be unicellular or multicellular. Microorganisms may exist alone or in colonies. You can see in the pictures. Okay, microorganisms are found in all kind of environment like ice, cold climate, hot spring, deserts, marshy lands, etc. They are also found inside the bodies of other organisms. That means they can survive everywhere in any kind of environment, either it is cold or it is warm. Okay, where do microorganisms live? Okay, so where they live, I told you previously, but again I am explaining you. Microorganisms may be single celled like bacteria, some algae and protozoa, or multicellular such as algae and fungi. That means some are single celled and some can be multicellular such as algae and fungi. They can survive under all types of environment. I told you that they can survive everywhere, in ice cold climate and in hot spring climate, in desert also. They are also found inside the bodies of animals including humans. Some microorganisms grow on other organisms while others exist freely. Microorganisms like amoeba can live alone while fungi and bacteria may live in colonies. So some microorganisms can be live alone and some may live in colonies. Okay, now types of microorganisms. There are four main types of microorganisms. They are bacteria, fungi, algae and protozoans. Here pictures are given. You can see these all pictures are given in your book also. Okay, viruses are also considered as microorganisms. They are different from other microorganisms because they reproduce only in the body of host organisms like bacteria, plant or animals. So why, if we are talking about virus, these are also microorganisms, but there is a different thing. What is it? It reproduce only inside the body of host. Okay, in the body of host. That means viruses need body to reproduce. Okay, body of other living thing to reproduce. Example of microorganisms, if we are talking about algae, then Chlamydomonas spirogyra. If we are talking about fungi, then bread mold, penicillium, aspergillus. If we are talking about protozoans, then amoeba, paramecium, etc. Now come to the next page. Microorganisms, route of exposures. Okay, routes of exposures, that means from where they can get inside the body. So it may be due to ingestion, it may be due to injection, and it may be due to inhalation. And now again come to next page. This is the structure of virus. I have explained this structure in my previous video. You can see, in if we are talking about structure of virus, it has a head. Okay, it has a head. This is the head area, which is also known as capsule. This is the tail part of virus. Okay, and this is the end plate of virus, and these are the fibers of tail, that it is also known as tail fibers. To explain structure of virus, here a virus HIV, okay, HIV virus anatomy is given, you can see it. It is complete anatomy of HIV virus. Okay students, now come to the next page. Friendly microorganisms, that means useful microorganisms, which are friendly for us, which are useful for us. So starting from first point, microorganisms like bacteria decomposes organic waste into manure and increases the fertility of the soil. So bacteria decomposes the organic waste into manure, and in our previous chapter we have studied that manure is very good for the soil, it increases the fertility of the soil. Second point is microorganisms help in fixing atmospheric nitrogen into nitrogen compound in the soil and increases the fertility of soil. Okay, so as you know, nitrogen is present in atmosphere, but microorganisms help in fixing it. Okay, after fixing it, plants can use this nitrogen, and this nitrogen is very helpful to increase fertility of the soil. Third point, microorganisms are used for making curd from milk, for making cheese, pickle, bread, cake, pastries, alcohol, wine, vinegar, etc. If we are talking about curd, Bacterium lactobacillus, okay, this is a microorganism, this is a bacteria which is responsible for the making of curd from milk. Come to the fourth point, microorganisms are used for making medicines. So microorganisms are also useful for making medicines. Now some examples are given. First example, making curd from milk. As I told you, the bacterium called lactobacillus reproduce in milk and help to convert milk into curd. Second, making bread. The fungus called yeast reproduces in flour dough and produce carbon dioxide during respiration, which makes the dough soft and help in making bread, cake, biscuits, pastries, etc. So what is working here? Which microorganism? Yeast. Okay. See, making alcohol, the fungus called yeast. So for making alcohol also yeast is responsible, and the process of making alcohol is known as fermentation. Making medicine, some bacteria and fungi are used to make medicines which kill or stop the growth of disease causing microorganisms. Such medicines are called antibiotics. So which medicines are made by fungi or bacteria, and these are used to kill or stop the growth of diseases causing microorganisms? These are known as antibiotics. And some example of this type of medicines are streptomycins, tetracycline, erythromycin, etc. Now a talk about vaccine. Vaccine are dead or weakened microbes introduced into the body to produce antibiotics. Okay, so in vaccine, dead or weakened microbes are introduced into the body by which body can produce antibodies. These antibodies protect the body from diseases causing microbes. Okay, so this antibody protect us and protect our body from the disease causing microbes. Okay, disease like polio, cholera, typhoid, smallpox, hepatitis, etc. can be prevented by taking vaccines. So these are some diseases which can be prevented by the vaccine: polio, cholera, typhoid, smallpox, hepatitis, etc. Okay. Now harmful microorganism. In previous slide I told you that some microorganisms are useful for us, they are friendly for us, and now we will talk about some microorganisms which are harmful for us. So first point, some microorganisms cause diseases in plants and animals. Such disease causing microorganisms are called pathogens. So some microorganisms also responsible for the many type of diseases, and these are known as pathogens. Okay, so what are the pathogens? Disease causing microorganisms are called pathogens. Second point is some microorganisms grow in food substances and produce toxic substances and makes the food poisonous. Food poisoning causes illness and even death. And now second point, we are talking about some microorganisms which can be grown in food, and they can produce toxic substances. As a result, food get poisonous and it will responsible for the food poisoning, and food poisoning causes illness and even death. Third point, some microorganisms spoil materials like clothing, leather, wood, etc. And some microorganisms are also responsible to spoil materials, just like cloth, leather, and wood. Okay. Disease causing microorganisms in human. Now we will talk about disease causing microorganisms in humans. Okay, so disease causing microorganisms enter our body through air, water, food contact, or insects. So what are the factors by which microorganisms can enter in our body? These are air, water, food contact, or insect. These microorganisms are called pathogens. I told you that disease causing microorganisms are known as pathogens. Disease which can spread from an infected person to a healthy person are called communicable disease. Okay, if disease can spread from an infected person to a healthy person, that means which person is not infected but he is infected from an infected person. So this type of disease is known as communicable disease. Okay, for example, cholera, common cold, chickenpox, tuberculosis, etc. Nowadays a communicable disease is in limelight, which is known as COVID-19, and here is a virus, coronavirus, which is responsible for that disease. Okay, some insect and animals act as carriers of disease causing microbes. Some insect and animals act as carriers of disease causing microbes. That means by them microorganisms can enter in a host body. For example, there are some example of these insect and animals: housefly, female anopheles mosquito, female Aedes mosquito. Here female anopheles mosquito is responsible for a disease which is malaria, and female Aedes mosquito is responsible for the dengue fever. Now you can see the structure, and you can see the whole process, how the female anopheles mosquito and Aedes mosquito carries the microbes inside the body. Okay, you can just a minute. You can clearly see in this picture. Okay, this picture is also given in your book, you can see it. So here these mosquitoes are working as a carrier, and anopheles is responsible for the malaria. She carries malarial parasite, and Aedes is responsible for the dengue fever. Now come to the next page. Disease causing microorganisms in plants. In our previous slide we have discussed about some disease causing microorganisms in animals or humans, and now we will discuss about plants. Microorganisms cause diseases in plants like rice, wheat, potato, sugarcane, apple, orange, etc. These diseases reduce crop yield. They can be controlled by using chemicals which kill the microbes. So I told you about pesticide in our previous chapter. Pesticide, fertilizers, weedicides, etc. we have discussed. So if microorganisms cause disease in plants, then these disease also reduce the crop yield. So to control it, we can use chemicals, and we can spread chemicals, and it will help us to kill the microbes, and it will also help us to increase crop yield, because these disease can be reduced crop yield, so we need to control it. You can see some pictures how microbes harm the plants. Now some common human diseases caused by microorganisms. Here is a table. In this table these human diseases are given, and which microorganism is responsible for that, and what is the mode of transmission. And in second table it is given for the plants. Okay, so if we are talking about chickenpox. Okay, chickenpox is a human disease. So which microorganism is responsible? Virus is responsible for that. And what is the mode of transmission? It may be air, and it may be contact. Okay, second is polio. For polio, virus is responsible, and here is also mode of transmission is air and water. Measles is due to virus, and mode of transmission is air. Hepatitis B, virus is responsible for that, and transmission mode is water. Tuberculosis, for tuberculosis bacteria is responsible, and transmission mode is air. Okay, typhoid is also due to bacteria, and mode of transmission is water. Cholera, bacteria is responsible for the cholera, and mode of transmission is water, and it may be also food. And malaria, for malaria which microorganism is responsible? Protozoa, and mode of transmission is mosquito. I told you that for the malaria, mosquito is working as a carrier. Okay, now second table is about the some common plant disease caused by the microorganism. Plant disease, microorganism, and mode of transmission. Okay, so citrus canker. Okay, and rust of wheat, yellow mosaic of okra, bhindi. Here three diseases are given. First one is citrus canker. Okay, and what is the responsible microorganism here? It is bacteria. What is this? It is bacteria. Okay, and transmission mode is air. Second one is rust of wheat, and for the rust of wheat fungi is responsible, and mode of transmission is air or seed. And third is yellow mosaic of okra, which is mostly found in lady's finger, which is known as bhindi in common language, and a microorganism virus is responsible for that, and mode of transmission is water. So students, there were some human diseases and some plant diseases which are result of microorganisms and which are due to microorganisms, and here mode of transmission is also given. I hope you have understood. Now food preservation. Okay, food preservation, we need to preserve the food is spoiled by microorganisms. Spoiled food has bad smell and bad taste and causes food poisoning also. So we need to preserve it. Food can be preserved by protecting it from microorganisms. Food can be preserved by different methods. They are chemical method, by using common salt, by using sugar, by using oil and vinegar, by heat and cold treatment. So to preserve the food, we can use chemical method. Food like pickles can be preserved by using chemicals like salts and edible oils. Jams and squeezes can be preserved by using sodium benzoate, sodium metabisulfite. These chemicals are called preservatives. So if we are using chemicals to preserve food, so these type of chemicals are called preservatives. Okay, by using common salt, food items like fish, meat, amla, raw mangoes, tamarind, etc. can be preserved by using common salt. It prevents the growth of microbes. So how will help the common salt to preserve food? It will prevent the growth of microbes, thus our food will be preserved. Okay, third point is by using sugar. Food items like jams, jellies, squashes, etc. can be preserved by using sugar solution. It prevents the growth of microbes. Just like salt, sugar solution can also prevent the growth of microbes. Fourth point is by using oil and vinegar. Food items like pickles, vegetables, fish, meat, etc. can be preserved by using oil and vinegar. It prevents the growth of microbes. That means we can use all the things as a preservative which can prevent the growth of microbes. So with the help of oil and vinegar we can preserve pickle, vegetables, fish, meats, etc. Okay. Fifth point is by heat and cold treatment. Heating food items kill microbes. Similarly, storing food items at low temperature prevents growth of microbes. That's why we need to boil time to time our food material. We need to cook it. If we are talking about milk, we need to boil it again and again. And other food item we have to cook. We have to make it. We have to cook it properly, and similarly some things we need to store at a low temperature. We can store it in refrigerator, which is very helpful for us to preserve our food, because some microbes cannot survive in very hot region, and some microbes cannot survive in very low temperature. So we can preserve them by the heating and by the cold treatment. So student, I think it is enough for today, and next we will discuss in our next video. Till then, watch and listen it carefully. If you have any doubt, you can ask to me. Thank you so much.